My fault. I had music playing in the background. I had to shut it off. I apologize.
Come on, moderator, get busy.
No, I'm good though. I clear my shit up all the time. What's wrong?
You gonna start talking? Because the episode should start after the clap.
I mean, I'm waiting for the live, nigga. We good?
It's already going. 14 seconds in, bro.
Nobody said we.
You didn't
live.
read. You didn't fucking read. It's saying right there, live.
And we had like 10 seconds. We had 10 seconds.
Nobody said we live. Every time
we gotta tell you we
live.
live.
Here we go. We
live.
live.
Yo, can you please just start the episode, moderator? Come on.
Can I get an accountability, buddy? Please. We all accountable? Come on.
Do we got Shake's word of the day?
Right.
You might take the word of the day.
No.
Where this nigga go?
TJ.
This nigga go.
TJ, can you hit the gong, please?
I can totally hit the
TJ's
singing
fault
bowl.
now.
So
now it's TJ's fault.
today I chose.
Ain't gonna blame me.
Tell us what you chose, TJ.
Y'all acting blackety black right now, but it's all good.
I love the way y'all backgrounds are set up. Like, look at Mo's background. It looks like y'all
It matches her colors, right?
Look at that.
Yeah, that is nice. That is nice.
Yeah.
This is meant to be. All right, so today we're going to be opening our green chakra. So the green chakra is located in the center of the spine in the heart region. It affects your thymus gland, lungs, shoulders, upper back, heart, and circulatory system. The color green represents earth, life, love, change, and transformation. And the green chakra is unique because of its position in the body. So how do we open our heart chakra? It says you can burn incense, oils, repeat positive affirmations about love, practice yoga poses that open up the heart, and use or recite mantras to shift your energy towards love. So, yeah, let's get it going. Let's open up our heart chakras.
Hit me. That was it.
Dope. Let's get it.
Yeah, I feel good. I like that. My heart chakras are open. I feel like I'm so in love. I'm so in love with this podcast. I'm so in love with being black. I'm so in love with y'all. Okay. Speaking of y'all, let me introduce my wonderful, wonderful cast, my co-host, my people, my Blackity Black squad. Okay. So I'm let me see who I got to pick first. I'm gonna pick the person I probably don't like the most. All right, so let me see. He is the self-proclaimed favorite of this show. Okay.
Oh, let him know, son.
He's a favorite fuckboy. He's a favorite fuckboy. That's about it.
But hold on, but truly deep down in his little cynic heart, he knows that there would be no him if it wasn't for me. Okay. All right. I'm somewhat like a father figure to this next co-host. Okay. Sometimes it gets me a little teary-eyed, but it's safe to say that this is what happens when you don't pay your child support. Okay. All right. Now he's out here giving out HSDs because truly, I believe that's what women want. And if you don't know what HSDs are, please check out our episode Power Dynamics Uno Out. Yeah, the second part. Dope episode. Okay. But my next co-host really doesn't need any introduction. But if you say his name 3 times fast, if you say fuckboy actually 3 times fast in the mirror, he will pop up and he will be ready. Okay. Give it up for my boy Shake, the Wanderer.
Yeah, what it is. It's your boy Shake. You know what I'm saying? What is it? America's favorite? What do I call myself? America's favorit.
AFF, bro.
AFF, Mr. HSD. What's up, yo? We in the house, yo. Let's go.
I bet. All right, so my next lineup. Okay, he's probably going to be the reason why your water bill is going to be going up this summer. Okay. Now, usually I ain't gonna hold you. When I think of dripping, I think of like venereal diseases. But this next co-host, he has altered the state of drip itself. Okay. This man actually has excellent taste in porno, but he also has introduced me to porno that I wish I never knew existed. Never.
Unfortunately,
Okay?
that me.
Yeah. So give it up for my boy, the Spew God. What up, King?
Yo, peace. What's good, everybody? This your boy Bash, aka Sir Drip, aka what? No venereal, just drip. That's right. No fucking venereal. Spew God, drip. Please say the motherfucking drip. I'm just glad the nigga didn't back out and say he was my daddy like he did for Shake, because I have to circle back
drip.
you, nigga. So I'm glad. Thank you. I take the venereal before dad any day.
Yeah,
Carry
that's
on.
my son. That's my son. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. My next co-host. I mean, and y'all already know what it is. Like, there's no guessing here. Like, okay, we could guess. I know you see me. I'm looking at you. Okay, but she is part of the sorority. Okay, she's part of the sorority Alpha Nephi Kappa. Because y'all know when my next co-host get low, she go pro. Okay. All right. She's a Bronx native with a gentle soul, but a beast when it comes to that freestyle flow. I know you got that flow on you, Mo. You know, I ain't gonna say your name because I'm trying to introduce you. All right. You'll probably find her planning trips to somewhere that has sand and beautiful water. Okay. Usually when I think of the number 3, I think of Allen Iverson. I think of Alvin and the Chipmunks, or I think of my favorite category of porn. But this 3 right here, this 3 is more special. Okay. So please give it up to my lovely co-host, Mo. Talk your shit.
Thank you, Flash. It's your girl Mo. Of course, I'm from the Bronx, Co-op City, Section 5. Don't ever zone my shit. Hey, tribe.
What up, Mo?
Talk your shit.
What's up?
My next co-host, okay, she hits the gong, okay, to set our souls from wrong, okay. All right, she is the wellness warrior who practices the law of attraction. Okay, sometimes when I watch videos of people getting chased by avalanches, I tend to think of this co-host, okay, the duality queen, okay, the buy-win date keeper. I don't have any more ad-libs, but please give it up for my special co-host, TJ.
What up, tribe? I love when you do introductions, Flash. You do it very well.
I'm ill with this shit. Come on.
You are.
All
You're
right.
nice with it. You're nice with it. What up, tribe? TJ in the building.
All right. And last but not least, my co-host. Okay. Now my next co-host is a strategist by nature. Okay. All right. I actually had the chance to check out my man's YouTube, and I'm gonna let y'all motherfuckers know this from now. Okay. He was shit on you in Elder Scrolls. Okay. Which is a strategy card game, right? But he was shit on you. Okay. He is the former heavyweight ass worshiping champion of the world. Okay. Back-to-back titles, by the way. Back-to-back. Okay?
I think he's current. I wouldn't say
he's current.
I think he's current.
All right. Well, he's a fucking reigning champion, all right? But he's also at the forefront of pushing our YouTube efforts and to help get my handsome ugly ass on the screen. Okay. Please give it up for my boy Sly Boogie.
Peace, everybody. Peace and love. I have so much questions in regards to why I'm an ass-eating king champion, whatever the fuck.
Don't worry about that. You're a champion, bro.
Ass worship.
Yeah, don't know why I had that.
Ass worshiper, not ass
thank you. I am a
card
game enthusiast, and thank you all for checking me out on YouTube. Ain't no ass worship going on over there. Just a couple of card games and a lot of strategy and shit.
Of course.
All right. But yeah, peace and love, everybody.
Facts. And as for me, I am the what am I? I am the promiser of peace. I am the Punani poet that needs no words. I am the head of the ball head 8-ball women's lover club. I'm your boy Flash the Philosopher, and I'll be hosting this wonderful episode today of Sophisticatedly Ratchet, where we bring the real in a world of fake. All right, welcome.
Gang.
All right, peace and love. All right, yo. So now I know we have this dope episode today. We're actually we're in Black History Month, and we are a Black podcast, so I think it's very synonymous to our brain that we make sure we bring you all a Blackity Black episode. Now, before we get into the episode, I'm definitely gonna have to hand it over to AFF over here, because he actually has a word of the day that we're going to be using for today. Okay, you got something to say, brother?
Okay. Word of the day. Word of the week. So today's word of the week, ladies and gentlemen, is tempestuous. Right? And the word tempestuous is is an adjective, and it's characterized by a strong and turbulent or conflicting emotion, right? Here it goes. I'm going to use it in a sentence. She had a reckless and tempestuous streak, right? So I'm guessing, reckless and tempestuous are very similar, I would say. Reckless, tempestuous. Let me do that definition of it. Characterized by strong and turbulent or conflicting emotion.
I'm gonna have to look that
Your
up.
first time seeing
Is
this
it
word?
like I don't know, this is like kind of random, but
It's-
like when I look up a definition for a word, I hate when there's another word in there where I like secretly feel like I have to look up the definition for that as well. Like I have to do work twice. Like turbulent and conflicting emotions make me want to understand what the difference between them is, just so it's like a better understanding. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, y'all
feel like-
been on
I feel
planes
like I
before. Y'all
thought I
know
knew
what
it.
turbulence is. Y'all felt turbulence. It's a shaky, scary feeling. You know what turbulence is. Y'all know what conflicting is. That's when you got two opposite sides bumping into each other, right? So,
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
Professor.
actually another way you
Teamwork.
can use it to describe something stormy or volatile,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So something like that. Something like, so I guess something that's erratic or unpredictable. I think that's what will categorize tempestuous, like someone who to have like a tempestuous type of behavior.
What's a synonym?
A synonym for tempestuous. Hold
Yeah.
on, buddy. Hold on. I got you.
You're giving this nigga work. You know how you know he don't do well with that shit.
I feel like synonyms work for me. If I know a synonym, then I can use the word.
Violent, wild, lively, heated, explosive, uncontrollable, unrestrained, feverish, hysterical, frantic, frenzied, frantic, emotional, passionate. A lot. You can be tempestuous behavior can be anything, bro. It seems to have range.
I'm claiming it today. I'm winning today. Just FYI.
Erratic.
Say less, bro.
Y'all just be contemptuous right now.
See, that's why you're gonna lose. That's why you're gonna lose.
Behavior.
Give me one. Just getting warmed up. Just getting warmed up, my nigga. Tempestuous.
Flash,
I'm ready. Let's fucking do this.
Ready. Facts. All right. So thank you for the word of the day, Shake. All right, go back to your corner now. Thank you. All right. Thank you. But yeah, like I said though, we are having like just a black episode today. We want to make sure that we talked about some stuff regarding Black history and our feelings and things that go alongside with it. All right, so I want to kind of start it off, and I want to ask my co-hosts: do y'all celebrate Black History Month?
Is that a burning question or is it open?
Celebrate it.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do a burner question. Yeah, that's a burner question. Do you celebrate Black History Month? Thank you, Mash.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay,
that's a big yes for the God.
So, damn, what with your Boogie? Your joint, you got to line that joint up, kid. No, okay, so for Boogie, I got a yeah. Mash, I got a yeah. I got a Sophisticatedly Ratchet from myself. TJ and Mo
SR.
Are TJ and Mo are Sophisticatedly Ratchet, and Shake, you're undecided?
Same thing. SR.
Okay, SR. Okay, so let me start off with my yeah for sure's. Boogie, Mash, y'all want to talk? You want to tell us about your celebration?
I celebrate Black History Month off the strength that we don't got no reason not to. I feel like as far as like a time to recognize our achievements is really important because society for a long time has downplayed all of our achievements for a really, really long time. So Black History Month for me gives me a reason to highlight those things and reminds me of our significant progress in the society, specifically in America, but worldwide, we just finesse everything. So Black History Month is a place for me to be able to refresh myself on, our experiences as a race. That's how I celebrate Black History Month.
No, I feel you, brother. I'm in the yes column because I think about like Black history, right? Like in school, I guess my upbringing was like Black History Month was always confined to that month or whatever. And we think about Black history and the fact that we're always kind of innovating all the time, not just in one particular month. I think about Black history all the time. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is the highlighted month, quote unquote, but I think about Black history and I kind of celebrate all the time in terms of learning about Black people, or like we was talking about Sidney Poitier last month, Kobe Bryant. Rihanna, her being a billionaire and just wealthy and successful. So it's like I think about Black history, and it's the fact that it's kind of continuous, ongoing. It's not really confined to a month for me. So yeah, I celebrate Black history all the effing time. Heck yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You going to ask all the people?
Yeah, go SRs, go.
All right, so you know me, I'm one of the sophisticatedly ratchet people on this, and reason being, the reason I say I'm sophisticatedly ratchet is because I recognize Black History Month, because you know it comes around every year. You know, ever since I was in elementary school, and you know, big ups to Lyndon B. Johnson 223. You know, they were always big on African American history, and they made us do like we would even sing the Black National Anthem and stuff. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but we would
remember it.
Do you know what it is? Share it.
Yeah,
We'd
share
love
it,
to
please.
hear it.
Let it shine, let it shine.
That is
let it shine.
That's the Black National Anthem.
Light of mine. Yes, this little light of mine.
That is not the Black National
I
Anthem.
was
What is
just
it?
about to say that's the
It is.
Black National Anthem.
Yo, I want you to be right so bad, because if you're wrong, that feels mad racist. That feels
Like I know that song, but I was like, I know that's not the Black National
I'm
Anthem.
gonna let it
We gonna have to do a shake
shine.
fact check
Yo,
on
we got
this.
to
Don't
do
worry.
that one, my nigga.
Let
Shake
it
fact
shine.
check.
Black History Month.
Anyhow, that was it. Yeah.
fuck with that song,
and
though.
they used to make us do a poem every day. Can I just wait? Let me just do a poem before I go further into it. Okay. This is the poem I used to do every single day in Lyndon B. Johnson, and I'm only doing this because this is where I get my.
Not to cut you off, Shake, but I really want you to. I know what the Black National Anthem is, and what you said
What
is
is it?
incorrect. Let It Shine is not the Black National Anthem.
Clarity Queen, come
Get 'em.
through. Come
The
Get 'em.
Black National Anthem
Get
that I
'em.
want to see is Lift Every Voice and Sing. That is the Black.
Get
You're
'em.
right. You're
Yes.
right.
I'm just,
right.
you know, let's
did-
be correct.
You know what? I'm gonna
It's
get
not
this
this
little
little
light
light.
of mine. Sing this little light of mine. Okay. All right.
It's not. It's Lift
Wait,
Every
you said-
Voice
you
and
said
Sing.
Lift every voice and sing.
Is the Black National Anthem.
Oh,
Yes.
we used
You know
to do
that
that as
song.
well. We used to do lift
Yes,
every voice
lift
and sing as
every
well. I'm bugging. My
voice.
Well,
fault.
go ahead,
Yes.
That
Mo.
was my
Go ahead, Mo.
fault.
Mo, I know you
That's
want to
the
sing
Earth
it, Mo.
and heaven
No, I'm not.
wondering,
Yes, that is the Black
with
National
the
Anthem.
harmony of liberty. Let us rejoice and rise high as the listening skies. Let us march on
Yeah.
till victory.
To victory
Till
is
victory is
won.
won.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that was. I didn't realize that was.
Sing a
A
song.
song full of the perspective.
Yo,
Yes,
I remember
yes.
as a kid being one of those ignorant kids who was always like, I don't want to sing those songs. But it's like, dang, now as an adult, it's been so long since I heard it. It's like, damn, I wish those fucking songs be like played more and more and all that. Like, I missed that. Like, I used to sing that as a kid back in my school. But I remember just being irritable, like singing it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's like,
You used to
need
be irritated by it.
only
Yeah,
because it's
now
like,
you
the
understand.
teacher makes you do it all the time, practice
Yeah.
every day. You know, as a
Every
kid, I
day.
didn't understand the significance of the song. That's more to the point.
Exactly.
Yo,
Never
yo,
understood
question.
the
Your quick
significance of it.
question: do they still do the pledge in school? Like I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
I don't
United
even
States of
know,
America?
bro.
You asking the wrong
I'm not
person,
sure,
my man.
to
I'm
be
well
honest. I
past
gotta ask
that.
my
I don't hear
godson.
it.
I gotta ask my godson.
Okay.
You don't
Yeah.
have
Yo,
it,
this
like,
song
over
is
the mic?
fucking. Yo, have y'all ever looked at the full lyrics of that song?
Lift every voice and sing.
Yes.
Nah.
This is my first
No,
time ever
bro.
looking at the lyrics. This shit is sad as fuck.
It is.
Like,
Sing
all
it.
we-
It is.
all we
read it,
see
read
is-
it.
is
You want
the
me to
main
read it?
part.
I'll tell you.
I
It says,
mean-
lift every voice and sing, till earth and
Uh-huh.
heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoice and rise high as the listening skies. Let us resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Keep going. That
Yep.
this
Stony
part
the
is the
road
part
we
that fucked
trod.
me up.
Bitter the chastening rod. Felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers signed. We have come over a way that where tears has been watered. We have come treading our past through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears.
Facts.
Though who has brought us thus far on the way, though who has by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God will be met thee. Lest our hearts drunk with wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand. True to our God, true to our native land, our native land. Yeah, it's about coming out of like
Slavery. Out of slavery.
Out of slavery, yeah.
National anthem. Remember
that's why it's the Negro national anthem.
The Negroes.
And that was written by J. Rosamond Johnson and James Weldon Johnson.
Yep.
Nice.
Shout out to them.
Yeah. Were they brothers?
I don't know. You're asking a lot of questions.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay, let me finish my response. Okay. All right. So my response was that I recognize Black History Month, but I don't celebrate it. Because when you think about celebration, you think about like balloons and like going eating dinner, like not necessarily balloons, but like eating dinner in honor of and doing stuff like that. I can be honest with you, I haven't really done that for Black History Month, like a celebration. But I do recognize Black History Month, and I try to do more Black things, like watch more Black things. So for this month of this year of Black History Month, I'm gonna watch only Black porn this month.
Yeah, shake, right on, bro.
All right, so one. Watching Black porn is not anyway. I'm not gonna comment on that. But
all right, so the Johnsons, who made that song were brothers.
The fact that like
they're brothers.
I feel like celebration is something that is different. I don't feel like you need to have a glamorous event to quote unquote celebrate Black history.
Mm-hmm.
I could holler at Mo, we could have a conversation, have a reflection on something like that. And that could be something that can be interpreted as celebrating Black history. Or even just me and the brother just going out and just smoking one and just having a good time and talking about things and just ideas and things that we kind of come through. I don't know. It's like I think about Black history, and it's the fact that it don't need to be glamorous. Just needs to be kind of it's the love and shit that you put into it. Like us singing together, for example. Like it's not something that's like celebration of Black history, but you can look at that as us doing that as something that could be interpreted the same thing. Hope that makes sense.
I want to piggyback on what Boogie just said. So, R.I.P. Mr. Mo, love you. My father passed away February 7th last year. This on the 7th of February will make a year, and we're gonna celebrate his memory by having a Zoom meeting, right? And celebrating his memory is just us sharing experiences that we had with Mr. Mo, right? So that's a form of celebration, but we ain't got no balloons, we ain't got no cake.
There you go. It's just the memory, the love that you put into the shit.
Right. So that's how I see celebration too.
But when you say celebration, it's actually an event. You're doing something, which is an event. You know what I'm saying? Like, what events have you done to celebrate Black History Month besides saying,
I mean, a Zoom meeting is not an event, though, my guy. Like, it's just a Zoom meeting.
What I'm
saying? I get what Shake is saying. I guess what Shake is saying. Like, how do you display what you feel like? How closely you feel to Black history, or like
I make podcast episodes. And I talk about it.
All right, so you start celebrating within like last year.
The fact that like, do you have to display it? As long as you yourself are conveying it, like, does it matter if someone else does not? I don't know.
For me,
I kind of
celebrate.
No, I agree with Shake in a sense in the context of that's why I put SR when I'm thinking about a celebration. And like I said, maybe I was thinking too literally. That's why I put SR because I don't feel like I celebrate as far as like do one thing specific in regards to Black History Month. However, like Boogie said, everything for me is Black, reading up on Black people and wanting to see Black people succeed. That's just not in February. That's for everything else. That's every day, but in the context of when I'm thinking about celebration in my head, yes, that's why I kind of agree with Shake. Like I'm not celebrating or doing one particular thing. Like if I did something yearly or, did one particular thing to celebrate Black History Month, I don't do one particular thing. But I do, of course, acknowledge Black history, read up on certain things. So, yeah.
I kind of, even though I don't like agreeing with Shake, a lot of the times I do kind of agree. Like I don't think I necessarily celebrate Black history in the traditional sense of like putting something on portrayal to say like, yo, this is what I'm doing necessarily for Black history. Versus like, let's say if it was like Juneteenth or something like that. Now I'll go celebrate Juneteenth. I'll go to a barbecue.
I was gonna say that too.
Look, yo, my job. I just seen that one of the days off they give us now is Juneteenth, and that's actually
now
like a thing
public
in place.
Holiday.
Yeah, so I'm just saying
holiday,
like,
bro. It's a federal holiday. They had to
right. Right. I know I get that, but what I'm saying is that gives me even more of a bigger reason to say like, okay, yes, I want to make sure like I'm being like conscientious of celebrating this particular thing. As far as Black History Month, and I was speaking to Mash about this the other day, I feel like sometimes every time Black History Month comes around, though, it's not necessarily something that I'm trying to do this, maybe spread a bunch of knowledge, but I'm sitting here like, you know what, I need to just make sure I go to my books and my readings and understanding like the history that comes you know, with this country and just even outside of this country or whatnot, and understand like how it affected, you know, my ancestors and what it can do to you if you don't kind of do the footwork to understand those particular things.
Facts.
So yeah, I'm just, so that's why I said SR. It's not like it's a celebration for me, but if anything, it's a gentle reminder to say like, yo, don't forget where you came from, kind of. So
yeah.
So I agree with what everyone said. I feel the same sentiments. Like Black History Month is just 1 month, but I celebrate it every day. I don't do anything specific this month, but I feel like this is what we're doing right now, having this Blackity Black episode.
Oh yeah,
Gonna do that.
absolutely.
Right. You damn
Absolutely.
right. You damn
Absolutely.
right.
And I do think it's special that you're celebrating people that have passed before you, Mash. Like that is a form of celebration. And, you know, to do it in February, the month that, you know, he passed, the anniversary is special. I do feel like that could fall under Black History Month too.
Facts.
Because that's like your personal, you know, history, right? And we're Black. So that's dope. But I agree with Sheikh. I mean, it's every day. I don't do anything specific, but I'm happy that we're doing this podcast to honor them today and honor people and be more aware of, you know, the sacrifices that our people have made and impacts.
That was for you, TJ. Good job. You complete.
So
that was good.
So I had said earlier jokingly that, you know, I'm gonna be watching Black porn for this month, but I think we should take.
Yeah, you definitely did.
I will be watching. I'm gonna watch Batty Hub for the rest of the month, bro. I'm doing it.
Right.
I'm saying it. Anyhow, what I was saying is that, you know, we really should try to I guess in celebration of Black History Month, let's try to at least support a Black business or like or big up a Black business on your Instagram, on your social media.
So boom.
Or just buy from them as well.
So Shake,
in case y'all listen, buy from them.
Segue, Shake. Sophisticatedly Ratchet is an all Black brand. All right, Sophisticatedly Ratchet is a Black business. Y'all support us, share us with your friends, like, comment, subscribe. Please pass us along to another Black person so they can hear us and they'll pass it to another Black person.
Tell a Black friend to tell a Black friend to tell another Black friend.
We deserve it. It's Black History Month. Do it for the ancestors.
Yeah. Word.
Facts. All right.
So to celebrate. Go ahead.
So let me shift it off of that then. Speaking of you know, how we celebrate it, but do you feel like Black history is represented well in America?
Is that a burner?
That's an open-ended question. We could just talk about it.
I mean, all right. So I'm gonna say, like, of course, we know in the schools, yes, we know they celebrate it. I remember doing shows or researching a person for Black History Month, and we know that that's only for the month of February. So in that context, of course, they're talking about it. They are in the schools because like I said, I remember doing everything, but on a frequent basis, no, not really. But growing up, yes, we know February is Black History Month, and that forever. I mean, that has been historical. Like everybody knows February is Black History Month, but it just kind of stops there to a certain degree.
I feel like it's not represented as well as it could be. In school, usually it starts with slavery. Let's go back before slavery. Fuck that shit. You know, we weren't just slaves to build up another country. We were kings and queens, and we was practicing our own religions. You know, so, and all those things were ripped away from us. So I feel like we should go before that. And it's very rare that they teach that in American history. And I think it's time that we do that. And for me, I have been contemplating possibly homeschooling my children because I want to be responsible for what they know about us if it's not done in school. And I do think that everyone can do that. You don't even have to homeschool your child to do that. So yeah, I don't feel like it's represented as well as it could be.
I feel like I need to understand the question again. Like when you say like is Black history represented well all over the world in schools?
Just America, just America, bro.
America.
My answer to that question is no, because we ain't getting paid for the Black history that we experience. I still want my 40 acres and a mule. If you don't acknowledge the trauma that my people experienced, then you really don't care. So that's what I need to really feel like there's an acknowledgement of our struggle. There's an acknowledgement of our experiences, because those wrongs haven't been written in my mind. So until that happens, I can
write it.
That's my stance,
bro. Yeah. It's like I feel
I would get half of 40 acres in a meal. Tiffany, unfortunately, you
I don't think I would get anything because my parents are from the Caribbean, like the Jamaica and Trinidad. I don't think we get anything.
But wait, Jamaica has slaves and shit too. What you talking
about? I know, but 40 acres in a mule is the U.S. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's the U.S. thing.
I guess.
Actually, like black history being represented well. I feel like I guess my alignment is more in line with TJ. Like you can see bits and pieces of it here and there, but it's not represented fully well. And there's obviously so much catch up that you have to do in regard to it. I think about my education is also similar to TJ's, where they didn't really talk about the real things going on. We had talking about like the Industrial Revolution and shit like that. They didn't really mention black people. Like my education in terms of history, black people really wasn't like. Slavery had nothing to do with it in terms of just my education, in terms of learning about like slavery. Like we know about Martin Luther King, but we didn't know about how slavery impacted like the Industrial Revolution and all other wars, Civil War, First World War, etc. It never was discussed like that. So yeah, I feel like black history can be improved in terms of talking about the actual reality of what black people were accountable for and how much we actually contributed like to the world wars, for example, shit like that. But again, you see advertisements, celebrities, etc. nowadays, like LeBron James. There's so many black notable celebrities that kind of talk about black history and pretty much make black history. So I feel like you can see kind of examples of it through celebrities nowadays and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, there's always opportunities to improve.
I feel like in terms of education and wanting to be taught about your history, you can't depend on schools to do that. I don't think that that's realistic, and like knowing the history of the education system to expect them to do that. You know what I mean? I feel
kids, like though, even our parents, it's like they like, I don't know, maybe I guess it's common sense. You wouldn't expect them to know the real history, but it's it sucks that
I apologize, Book. I can't speak for your family, but I was taught those things by my family. They gave me the experience that let me know that we were greater than the information they were provided in school. And that gave me the confidence that I needed to excel. So I think the people in my life who shared information like Chancellor Williams, shared like Marcus Garvey, those texts help educate you and have a broader understanding of your experience. And I got that. So I wasn't tripping off of the education in school. But when I do decide to have children, I'm also going to instill in them that sense of pride and worth that comes along with that knowledge, because it's important. And you could blame the education system, but I think it's more important for us to teach us about us.
I feel like no one's going to teach us about us the right way. Like we also underestimate how influential schools are. Like even as a kid, I think we all know how important people say stay in school and all that.
Yes.
Like school was made as the place to kind of gain knowledge. And don't get me wrong, Mash, it is extremely important that you kind of have that self-knowledge and have parents that kind of teach that to you 100%. But I feel like not a lot of parents fit that kind of mold, or at least not enough, maybe.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like in terms of like going like self-education is like in terms of as a child, I was never thinking about like reading books on my own and finding some shit on my own. Like I feel like I was in school learning about those things versus like, I don't know, having the energy to kind of look up. I guess I'm not articulating it well.
I'm gonna kind of just play off of what you were saying a little bit, Boogie, because I feel like when I think about it, is Black history represented well? I don't think it's represented well in schools, and it's kind of to what TJ's point is. It's like because they start with slavery, and I feel like we should start with African American history. Number one, I think that's a better way to understand about Black history, And personally, I don't think we should really like leave it up to the schools for that, because if that's what they're teaching, and and there's still like this whole big thing with like critical race theory. Yeah, and like schools not wanting to say like, hey, we're not gonna try to prove or disprove how racism has affected society and why we have all these issues that are really stemming from like race and racism and all this other shit. But yeah, I just feel like it kind of does come down to like your family or your immediate influences to help give you a better representation of Black history. Now, I don't feel like my first generation migrant family was the best historians to that degree. Like and they had like books, and I'll definitely shout out my mom, because she put certain books in front of us, whether it was from like Ben Carson or Marcus Garvey, but for a kid who just sees those books and not understand like the meaning of the history behind them, it's very easy to kind of be disconnected between like who these figures are, or like what they represented, or why they're important. I don't feel like I got more acclimated with Black history until I took an African American studies class, and then it was like,
where were you when you took that African American class?
This was in college. This is in my like first year.
Real shit, Flash. That's it. That's when I like college is when I started to kind of understand shit. Like not as a kid. That's what I mean, like that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, because I'm not in school right now, in elementary and the junior high school and high school, I'm not sure if they're incorporating also the positive things, like, you know, as far as, okay, and I'm pretty sure they have to incorporate that, like Obama being the first Black president and things like that. Like, yes, it always starts from slavery and kind of, and Harriet Tubman freed the slaves, but what they need to incorporate, you know, the things, how far our Black community have come throughout the years, like things like that. I would like to see incorporated. And I'm not saying that they're not, because I don't know. I'm not in those particular schools, but I agree with Flash when they say we start to learn more about that as we get to college, and like the African American studies
research,
right? And African American studies, we need to kind of start that in elementary and junior high and high school, kind of instilling that into us at that kind of age.
Also, you said something that just kind of triggered me. You went to an all-Black college, so of course you had African American studies. I didn't have that. I went to like an all predominantly white school, so I didn't even have to take a history course in college. I was a nurse, so that's funny that at least in Black history, in Black colleges, at least they do African American studies. That's awesome.
Okay. Question. It's you just made me think about something. Do you think white people are just as ignorant about the struggles of Black people because of their education? Like everyone just said that they didn't really learn about the Black struggle till college. So I'd imagine as a Black person, if you don't learn about it till college, then some white people never get a chance to get exposed to it at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that there are some white people that are not as woke, and they don't care enough. Because that's true, but you're right. They haven't been really. It starts with us being in slavery. So of course they see that, like for a lot of white people, I think they see that as, it's so long ago. You're still talking about that. You know what I mean? Like, so of course,
underestimate,
and especially if they went to a prep, like a prep school per se. I don't know if they even teach in Black history in prep schools. I don't want to put that out there. They may have. I do not attend prep school, so I do not know. I want to be clear on that. But I'm just saying, thinking about things like that, like the prep schools, are they even teaching Black history? So for those individuals that say who attended a prep school where they're not teaching that, yes, they may be ignorant, not because they just want to be ignorant, but because they wasn't taught it. So as conversations come up, a lot of times we get angry, but we need to educate them as well, because sometimes they may not really know. They may not really know.
I definitely feel like certain education systems may feel tempestuous about like what they feel the need to teach. As far as Black history, I know. Thank you. That's one for me.
Wait. You said certain school systems
may feel tempestuous.
How does the school system feel you know what?
But because there's possibly a limit to like what they feel they may need to teach, and like what people are going to come out as far as Black education out of certain places. Once again, even with, like I said, the critical race theory and other shit, that African history, like real African history or whatnot, that's not something that they're probably going to focus on in certain
there's one thing I'm thinking about in terms of the actual like fact of slavery. Like, slavery is brutal. There's nothing beautiful about it. It's horrendous. So the only thing I could think about is the fact that teaching the actual effect of slavery and what it actually was to children. I feel like that may be quote unquote a lot for a child. So that's the only thing I could think of that may be barring or maybe limiting schools from really, really having that kind of conversation, because it's a horrible conversation to have. It's horrific.
One thing that I think is really interesting that we have all not touched on is that we don't talk about Africa. Like, we don't talk about where we came from. Like our history starts with slavery.
I said that.
No. But I mean it from the sense of like us being kings and queens.
I said that.
That's exactly what she said.
She did? I missed that part.
Yes.
Check your phone, man.
African American history, bro.
You pulled one of those.
Oh, pull the David
Pull
Blaine.
one of my moves. Pull one of my moves.
Well, I'm piggybacking on TJ, man. Niggas created science, math, and motherfucking all different type of things that we use now. It don't make no sense.
All right.
Facts,
All right.
Mash.
So let me hop on this right quick.
Mash, check your phone.
I'm happy I went last because you know what I'm saying. I wanted to listen to. I'm happy I had a chance to listen to you guys' statement. So here's the thing about Black history, right? Is Black history represented well in America?
My bad.
Black history is dark as fuck. Okay, it's tempestuous.
What we're taught,
right,
what we're taught is
right?
No.
That's not what we're taught. No, we're taught the whitewash version, and
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, not Black history, but what they share with us.
Harriet Tubman freed the slaves. Yes, that's important. Martin Luther King, important. But my thing is, Black history is not just that. And then when you really people get depressed by talking about slavery, but it's real. That shit happened. That shit.
It's still happening. It's still happening.
Black generations for years, and not only was it slavery, but they fucked around and they did anything to erase anything Black for years. So it's like the history is not even there because they made it gone. Like they deleted it from history.
Remember, slavery is not just physical labor. It's like mental abuse. Like
not
even
just slavery, bro. I'm talking about the towns that built up after slavery, during slavery, by free slaves. They fucking destroyed these places because they were doing too well. You know, Black Wall Street, like we talk about it amongst each other, but they don't teach that shit in school. And that shit is dark as fuck. You know, and y'all, my thing is, I understand that we want to talk about the kings and queens, but the reason why it's so difficult to do that is because they detached us from that. You understand what I'm saying? We don't know what tribe we came from. We don't know where in Africa we came from. We don't know none of that shit. We don't have that information to be able to learn. So we have to start with slavery. That's where our history begins because they deleted everything before that.
I disagree. I disagree. I don't feel like
they deleted it.
No, that's how I know that we were kings and queens before we came over here. We had like the knowledge that we had creating, empires and running shit. Like it was bigger than what they taught us. Yes, but I don't feel like it's erased. No,
I think you both are right. I think you both are right. Because Shake is right in terms of like there's been histories of lynchings, Black people, like neighborhoods just being burnt down to the ground,
flooded.
Yeah, I mean, like that's just straight gone. So don't get me wrong, in terms of tracing that history, it doesn't stop that. You still can kind of find your roots, quote unquote. But in terms of efforts to kind of destroy the history and just overall memory of Black people, there's clear attempts at that throughout history. Like even
I don't feel like they're trying to clear out our history. I feel like what they're doing is trying to stop us from progressing, right? So the Black Wall Street was
if you burn everything to the ground, there's no records of nothing. They don't talk about it in the news.
We know about it, so it's not erased.
No. Here's the thing: we know about it because we talk about it, but
we don't know the specifics.
There are attempts to erase it. You know what I'm saying? For example, Black Wall Street. If we didn't talk about it, nobody would talk about it. You know what I'm saying? They don't really talk about Black Wall Street or shit like. Look, I was actually looking at a post on Instagram about a town that is underwater because they flooded the entire town. Like they put the whole shit underwater, so we forgot that it existed. And they saying it wasn't the only town. There were multiple towns like that they put the shit underwater, so we would not see it anymore. So the act of attempting to delete our history.
Well, I guess that's the part though. Like as Black people, we are really like the sole heirs to make sure like that type of thing doesn't really happen. And I feel like this is why, and you got to remember, we live in a world where data is so quickly accessible now.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say
I just feel like there's not really, I'm not going to say there's no excuse because people have lives and this, that, and the third. But when I think about like how accessible that history is, how accessible information is, like if you truly want to learn the history of Black history and not American Black history, bro, I feel like there are outlets to do that. And as Black people, you got to remember, you can't leave that up to any other race to feel responsible, or any nation to feel responsible to say like, yo, we're going to teach Black history. It really comes down to you and the circle you affect. And as your circle gets bigger, or maybe as your knowledge gets, even more defined about Black history, bro, like part of it is mainly us, my nigga. We are the ones that have to keep the stories alive. Like that's something that they used to do.
Flash,
Like
what you're saying is accurate, but like what Sheikh is saying is also accurate. I'm sorry, the Black Wall Street, is that, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. That's the 1921 Tulsa race massacre. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. The reason why I feel like that's significant when Sheikh brings it up, remember, there's no one arrested for that. There's people out, there's pretty it's not like that was a crime and there's people that's in jail suffering to this day. That was a massacre that took place and everyone got away pretty much scot-free based on what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? Like that's, I mean, words can't describe how horrendous that is, but that is something that cannot be dismissed. Like in terms of what Sheikh is saying, that is a clear.
I think that experience is a trap.
But
that
that's
experience
just, that
was
was
a
just
travesty 100%. But that still doesn't change what. But that still doesn't change what Flash is saying in terms of search.
I didn't say it did.
I feel like
it definitely doesn't excuse the fact that what Sheikh is saying is relevant. Like they are, if people are making attempts to erase the history, then it's not just easy to kind of just self-reflect and self-grow when you got outside forces literally trying to come through and fuck your shit up. What Sheikh is saying
no one's questioning that if it's a reality or not. I get that. But what I'm saying is knowledge has to be looked for. You have to search for knowledge. Knowledge is given to you. And in order to be honest, to say, in order that they removed everything, you have to look for it first to find it. Right. And I think a really good platform or starting point for understanding the history of us or our history is this book by Chancellor Williams. It's called The Destruction of Black Civilizations. This starts before American history, and it does a really good story talking about each of Africa and what led to our downfall as a whole. So just as a suggestion, this is knowledge. This is information that you could use in order to have a better
who's the author?
Our background.
Thanks for sharing that, Mash. Who's the author?
Chancellor Williams.
Okay. Let's drop that in the show notes. I haven't read that. Yeah. I'm very interested in reading it.
Yeah, I do actually have a book I'd like to kind of promote there. I feel like everyone probably have access to it, but it is The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. Okay. It pretty much discusses Jim Crow and pretty much how it was established, and more importantly, talks about how like the aura, soul of Jim Crow is still present to this day. We spoke about filibusters multiple times in the past. That is something that's kind of Jim Crow-esque in terms of how like the history of it and whatnot. So this is a book I recommend in terms of just understanding racism and how it's been kind of subtly influencing society and how it still influences society to this day, especially when you think about the criminal justice system and just jail overall. Yeah, great read.
All right. I ain't mad about that. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of ways to educate yourself on Black history if need be. Now, speaking of Black history, what the tribe, or me and the co-host decided to do was actually put together a few key people in Black history that we feel were influential, and we just kind of wanted to spread a little bit of knowledge on them, whether it was just like what they're known for, and why they're important. So real quick, I know everybody probably got somebody they want to talk about. Does anybody want to kick it off with who you want to showcase?
I'll start off actually. The person I picked was Martin Luther King Jr. And the reason why I picked it is because like we were talking about like school systems and how we were brought up. In school, I was actually taught about Martin Luther King. I wasn't taught about Malcolm X. And I guess in college, I started to understand more the difference between the two. The reason why I brought up Martin Luther King is because like there was internally, at least for me, there was always online this kind of debate between Malcolm X versus Martin Luther King. Malcolm X was a bit more aggressive, for lack of a better term. Martin Luther King was more civil, more civil protests, nonviolent protests, for lack of a better term. And I'm saying to say that I kind of respect that. Me as someone who's kind of proud to be Black, I can sometimes be a bit aggressive and my kind of personal feeling, have a Malcolm X approach when sometimes it's necessary to have a laid back and non-violent approach because it's too much aggression, even as a Black person, I feel like it's a bit much. So anyway, over the last couple of years, I guess I've come to understand the patience of Martin Luther King in terms of just understanding the process, like his fight for peace. I think he knew it was going to take a long time, maybe even after he like even past his lifetime. And it's like I feel like that's something I kind of don't. How do I put it? Shit, I apologize, y'all. In terms of just like Martin Luther King and just peace and just being a better Black person, Black history, everything like that, it takes time, it takes patience. It's not something that you can force. And I feel like I respect Martin Luther King because of his peaceful way of kind of showing that. But yeah, that is what I wanted to kind of say and lead on. So
I want to add on to that.
Go ahead, TJ,
when you said Martin Luther King, right? When you said he was like laid back, I don't think laid back.
Laid back is not. I'm sorry, that's disrespectful. But I think he's non-violent is definitely the way I want to kind of put it. Though
I would think it's more of a patient stoicism type of.
Hey,
Martin Luther King. That's how I would take it. I would see he did. I feel like you're right. He did understand that it was going to take time, and it's easy to just lash out at the people who are, I guess, opposing you, in the tempestuous society that they lived in.
Oh, good job.
Yes. In the society they lived in. It's easy to lash out, but Martin Luther King, he was able to show people a better way, or it was a harder way. It's harder.
He was able to show people. He was able to show white people a non-aggressive way. That's really what it was, and that's why he could showcase the way he was, because his approach was less aggressive as others, like Malcolm X, for example, who took a more aggressive approach by any means necessary.
And this is a man that suffered disrespect. Like he was jailed. Like I know there a lot of times Martin Luther King was jailed multiple times through a couple of his protests. It's not like he just did a non-violent protest and nothing happened to him. Like not only was he obviously had opposition from white people, media made him look like he was a monster. FBI investigated him. Like this guy was made to look like a criminal, even though he was a non-violent person. So I say that with respect to the fact that it'd be so easy to flip. Easy to just play the bad guy role, because it's like, yo, you guys are just denying me my basic rights. And it's like he's still just respecting the process of being patient and just trying to find a way to make it work. And there's a part of me that understands how important that is to.
I have a question for you guys. So do you guys feel like we could be doing the things that Martin Luther King did? Because I looked at the age of his death. He was 39. Like, I can't even see myself doing that at 39. I know he died at 39, but like,
there's a part
at
of me that feels
26,
like
I was
doing that
partying.
right
At
now.
30, I'm traveling the world. Like I was thinking about me, you know what I'm saying? And like to know that he was doing all of this stuff when he was so young.
I remember the lifestyle is different, TJ. You can travel and be on vacations. I'm assuming that back then it probably wasn't that easy to kind of go out and have a good time like that.
Of course,
or if it
but I'm just saying, like I was thinking about me, not everybody else. I'm still thinking about
I'm saying that if the living situations back then were kind of present today, then I'd probably look at you like, yeah, TJ, I'd probably see you probably making some speeches and doing your thing, because I wouldn't see you as someone who would tolerate being in that type of condition back then. Like you probably stand up and speak for yourself.
I think it's important to know though, like what Martin was kind of working with as far as like his playing field though. You got to remember, he was a dude that was already in front of a lot of people in the church or whatnot, and people were actually begging him for years to be a part of like the protests and the help. Be part of the political movement. And that wasn't necessarily like his thing that he wanted to do. He actually ducked from it from a little bit. But
really?
Just for a little bit. But because I think his pop too wanted to see him like as just head of the churches or whatever.
Pastor.
Right. So I think
because back in the day, that's what was like respected profession. You know what I mean?
Right.
The pastor represented the Black culture.
Right. So I feel like when he made the decision to actually be more political, to kind of went against like, I guess like his father's like dream for him, and to see him like lead the churches and stuff like that. But from what I remember like reading on him, it was a calling that was sent to him. You know what I'm saying? So he was already in a space, and people were kind of badgering him to say like, yo, Martin, we need you on the front lines. We need you on the front line. You're so influential, this, that, and the third. You speak well, XYZ. And it wasn't until like he really sat down with himself, his thoughts and everything, and that he probably got to say like, you know what, I can actually do more. I can be bigger. And I feel like that's anybody can be that person. I'm not saying like Martin Luther per se. I'm saying that anybody can be in a time and space to sit down and say, you know what, I can be a lot more influential with the people I touch or the
100%.
impact that I leave behind or whatnot. Everybody's gonna have to do it in their own way, because the thing is, you don't have to be like Martin Luther King. You just got to be like you. So whatever lane you find that to say like, hey, this is how I'm going to leave my impact on this world. This is how I'm going to affect the world. Like, you get to choose that. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'll leave it with that.
So TJ, I think that your living circumstances are not as tempestuous as MLK, right? So his priorities is different than your priorities. So that gave him an opportunity. Well, it made him have to deal with those things that you don't have to deal with now. So give yourself some grace, just because, you were raised in a different era. That has a lot to do with why your focus is on traveling. Your focus is on you. Unlike for him, his focus is on his people, and it had to be that way for him.
Yeah, but Tamika Mallory is around our age too, and she's like a big spokesperson. She's like an activist for our people right now too.
Because that's her focus.
And I love that. Yeah, I love that. And so just thinking like these people were really young. They're not like 40, 50 years old that I would think that they would be. That's all I was trying to share. But yes, thank you for that.
I mean, but Martin Luther King always seemed like he was an older dude to me. You know what I mean? Like, I
was shocked that he was 39. Like, you didn't even live your life. Like,
but at the end of the day, when you're living in a society like that, it forces you to grow up a lot quicker.
Right.
Now. Because now it's just so much easier for us to kind of, to chill and relax. And although, things aren't where they could be, it's a lot better than it was back then. It was bad. So
significantly. You be black walking the street, you get effed up for nothing, lynched, whatever.
For nothing at all. And people weren't going to jail. Nothing was happening. You were denied basic human rights because you were looked at as less than a human being, bro. Less than a human being.
Like, imagine that, like walking outside knowing that if something happens to you, there's no one that you could call, there's nothing that you could do. You were pretty much done for. Someone like just wanted to come at you, like just off the color of your skin. There was just nothing you could do.
Yeah. All right. So let me jump to a next one. TJ Mo, like what you got?
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about Mary J. Blige.
Let me say something real quick before you start, Mo. She was like, I don't know if she's Black history. I'm like, yes, she is Black history.
She is Black. She is Black history. I'm talking about in the context of, like the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's. But to me, Mary J. Blige is Black history. And her name is Mary Jane Blige. She's an American singer, a songwriter, an actress. Mary has been through a lot in her life. She was born in the Bronx. I just wanted to add that. She was raised a little bit down south, but ultimately she kind of was grew up in Yonkers in the projects.
Shout out to
Mary has dealt with trauma as far as being sexually abused. She was also in let me make sure I'm saying it right, tempestuous relationship with Casey. From tempestuous relationship with.
Does that count, guys? Does that count? Should we give it to her?
Yes, that works.
All right, with Casey from Jodeci. So she was in an abusive relationship.
I remember that.
Mary has been through so lot. She also was dealing with substance abuse. So to know that with all her struggles, she still was able to
put out classic albums.
What would you consider some of her achievements?
Her achievements is she's the hip hop, she's the queen of hip hop and R&B. And I think female, and I think girls and females need to realize, like, you could start from the bottom. You can do a generational history as far as being sexually abused, being physically abused, and still come out to be the best that you could be.
As a man, I could always feel a pain, like Not Gonna Cry.
Yeah.
I was listening to that song, and I was
going to talk about that.
You know what I mean? Like, yes. I feel her pain when she was singing.
Exactly.
And
like, Mary puts her emotions into her music. A lot of people, even I'm glad to hear Boogie say that, even men identify with her pain, the things that she's been through. She's kind of been an open book with that. And as far as putting it in with her music. And not only that, Mary J right now is 51 years old. She looks fucking phenomenal.
She does.
She looks fabulous. Not only that, at her age of being 51, yes, she was married. She went through a divorce as well, but she has no children. And I think a lot of Black women need to hear that, because sometimes we feel like a failure when we don't have children, and we need to know that it's okay. Yeah. We need to know.
Society.
Yeah, and societal is, oh my God, you're reaching 40. Oh, you have no kids. Like, sometimes I think we think that the kids is the end all be all to womanhood. And me looking at a person like Mary J. Blige, to know that she's 51 years old. She looks amazing. To me, I feel like she is humble. She's living her best life and she has no children. And her not having any children, she does not allow that to define her as a person. And I just think that that's amazing. She has been a big influence in the hip hop community. She's done songs with everybody, Jay-Z, Method Man. I mean, the list goes on and on.
No, it's an honor for everybody to be doing songs with Mary. When you got Mary on the song, that was your come up. Like I got Mary on the hook. That's when you know you was all right.
Exactly.
I feel like no shade, but that like getting Mary on the song was not easy. I think Method Man, like Mary wasn't on some bullshit.
Yeah, she got Method. She got Jay-Z.
What's your favorite Mary album?
Of course, her best album, which people will say, of course, is the 411. What's the 411? Everybody that catapulted her into what she's in now. I like My Life as well.
I feel like I have to go by songs of Mary. I can't go by albums because she got some dope songs that she put out too.
Nah,
my favorite song is Be Happy. All I really want is to be happy. That's one of my favorite songs.
My favorite Mary album is Share My World.
Share My World. I was about to get Share My World is a
classic.
That album is amazing.
Cover to cover. That shit is hard, my nigga.
I don't skip a song on Share My World. That album to me is amazing.
I feel like she was also a trendsetter. She wearing the baggy clothes as a female, but making it a little girly, the hairstyles, just the
and
swag.
consistent as fuck. Like no shade, but in terms of music, acting and shows and all that, she's still relevant.
Also, she dips and dabbles into jewelry. Her and LL Cool J's wife, they actually have a jewelry line.
Stop playing.
Gold jewelry. Yeah. They actually do a jewelry line together as well. Wow. So that's what I'm saying. Like Mary got her hands in everything. We all know, not only that,
alcohol brands.
Yes, Mary is in power and doing an amazing job as Monet. Wow. Like we know, like she's like the role that she's playing right now is a big deal. Like the power is a big deal.
She stepped into that character. She stepped into that character for real.
Definitely stepped into that character. And I just love Mary J. Blige. I think for me, like being younger and I used to sing when I was younger. That is who I emulated with Mary.
And she wasn't very sexualized in terms of showing her skin. It was straight talent, straight singing ability that really got her through. She never really needed to kind of go through like. You
didn't see at that point she had on the back, so it was never about sexualizing her.
At the same time,
she had on baggy pants, she had on a hoodie, she had on combat boots.
Big ass glasses on. That's what made her different. She had them big ass glasses, but she was singing like somber tunes. Like she had a mystery behind her. That's what made her kind of dope too, at least for me.
Yeah, so that's my little overall about Mary. I love her. I love Mary.
Yeah, I definitely love Mary. I've said Mary's an artist that even though I don't know lyrics to the songs all too well, but when I know one of her songs come on, I will lip sync.
Was your lover and you said
out of a Mary song.
Yo, on God, that shit got me. When she got to that point, I was like, oh.
Working every day after week.
Everybody can relate to the lyrics of the songs that she sings because it's with so much passion. You feel her energy. You feel it.
TJ, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, so I'm going to be doing Harriet Tubman. I feel like when we talk Black history, we always say like the Martin Luther King, the Harriet Tubman, and I felt bad about using her. But something came up for me before. Mo and I are in Panama right now. And for me, vacations are a time for me to reset. And I was feeling like when Flash decided to come up with this topic, initially I was like, all right, let me try to find somebody different. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to use Harriet Tubman because what stood out for me was figuring out your purpose. I'm like kind of going through something right now in my life where I'm like, what is my purpose? What the fuck is my purpose? I don't feel connected to being a nurse anymore. And it's all I know. I've been doing it for 13 years. So I'm like, what's my purpose? And I was like, I always wanted to be a mom. It was funny that Mo just mentioned that as a woman, you do feel like the pressure of society on you as a woman to have kids and to have a family at this age. And it reminded me of, just being patient with myself, and maybe the things that I'm thinking are my purpose may not be my purpose. And I remember Harriet Tubman's journey. And if you guys didn't watch the movie, I absolutely loved the movie called Harriet. It talked about her life. But pretty much she ended up going, after she escaped, people thought she was dead. And she went back for her husband. And when she went back for her husband, homeboy was in a whole nother marriage, forgot about her and everything. And that was her opportunity to say, well, he didn't want to go with me. Fuck that. I'm taking the people that do want to come with me. And she did multiple trips, saving multiple people. And she was just a revolutionary. And it's like sometimes the things that we think are our purpose in life may not be our purpose. You know what I mean? So it's important to just stay on the journey. I'll just do a little history on her. This is from my Wikipedia research, but she was born in March of 1822 and she died around 1991. She died in 1913. And it says that she went on up to 13 missions to save people. And let me tell you, this is on foot, boat, all types of shit. Like this wasn't like a car ride. This is through
manual travel. Manual
facts through bushes. And sometimes when I'm on the road driving and I'm seeing all these bushes on the side, right on the side of the highway, I'm like, can you imagine these people were just trekking through the woods and shit with all types of
sleep, snow,
all the time.
weather conditions? Yes, it's absolutely crazy. And so for me, she's inspiring because I feel like, if you're feeling like you don't know what your purpose is, stay around for the journey, stick around for the journey. And you don't know what will be revealed to you, So I'm complete.
TJ, can I just ask one question? Like with all due respect, so I just want to confirm. So Harriet, like she was going to go get a husband, right? This is after she started doing the ferry back and forth?
No, you should watch. Actually, I encourage everyone to watch the Harriet movie because it was a great depiction of her life. To me, I can speak for myself.
To you, yeah.
But when she left, they were all looking for her. And so, back in the day, they're like, oh, she's dead. Right. I'm sure she's dead. They caught her, they killed her, whatever. So she actually was like, fuck that. This is my husband. We were married. I'm going back to look for him. Does that answer your question, Boogie?
It does.
Oh, yeah. So she went back to look for him. And then when she went back, homeboy was already married to somebody else.
But she was already kind of shuffling, like ferrying slaves from one end to the other. Am I correct?
No, she went back looking for him.
So when she became free, she essentially went back.
And
she wasn't
not free. I mean, she was still on the run.
She broke free.
Yeah.
Broke free.
She still wanted. I'm saying free in the sense of not on the plantation piece.
Yeah.
She actually went back to go back to save her husband to come along with her. In the process of her finally making it back, he was then remarried.
And then she figured out that her purpose was no longer just for him, not just for your husband. It was for the world. You were so influential. It was for every other person that came from that heritage that she brought over here. A lot of us didn't make it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that just says volumes to me.
You got to think about the power that her image had in those days, because
as a woman,
she was a woman.
As a woman,
because white people and slave owners wanted to take away all I guess they didn't want you to think that it was possible for you to be free.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? They wanted to take away all hope. They wanted you in despair. They wanted you to look at it. You are in this right here is it for you. It's no way you're gonna escape. And they would kill people in public just to show that, guess what, this person tried to go. But then when you see somebody like Harriet Tubman, who's a woman, she's black, she's powerful, she was on every wanted poster and she was getting people free, that gave people hope. And it's not so much the fact that she freed people was very important, but the image that she had in those days, I think she gave people hope. And that's why I love Harriet Tubman, and I'm happy you picked her, TJ.
Thank you.
That's dope. All right. Let me jump to a next one. I'll go real quick. So the person that I picked as my showcase, I picked Phyllis Wheatley. Okay. Now, as far as a little bit of history with her, Wheatley was an American poet in the 18th century. She was an enslaved person, and I feel like I kind of feel like it's what's the word tempestuous to call black people slaves, because I don't think they wanted to be called slaves. I think they're just enslaved people. But yeah, she was stolen from West Africa, which was and she was purchased by this guy called John Wheatley. And just for some understanding about names back then as well, when she was stolen, they gave her like the name of the ship that she was bought on, and I guess like she also got the last name of whoever was buying her or whatnot. So that's why her name is like Phyllis Wheatley. The ship that she came on was called Phyllis. Okay. But yeah, as like when she was taken in by the family, um, I think what had happened was she was a personal servant for the wife of the dude that purchased her, John Wheatley. But in their household, they kind of took her on as like one of the children, in the house. I think they had like 2 or 3 children, and so she just became like a child slash servant to them. And within that time, like they were able to teach her how to kind of like read and write in the English language. So she was able to learn English like super fluently. She could write it well, and then she was also able to even learn Greek and Latin, which helped challenge the stigma of like Black people and them not being able to be educated or learn things like white people would do, which they feel like were exclusive to a race. Now I feel like she's dope because I feel like she proved that we are artistic and we are capable of amazing feats. I feel like it's hard to picture yourself as something if you don't see examples of it first. So I feel like she kind of set a trend to let Black people understand, like, hey, we can be much more than slaves. We can be writers. We can, in my opinion, like be rappers, be anything that kind of just puts art at the forefront of like what you're doing or creativity with what you're doing. And she was also the first Black poet to publish a book as well. I think that's what she's actually really known for. So I think she's just super influential. I think she's helped to inspire like a lot of the creative geniuses that we have today.
So Flash,
that's what it is.
Flash. I'm kind of really interested in the timeline on Phyllis Wheatley. I don't know if you did the research, but
What's
she
up?
was
I'm
born
really
in
interested in the
1753.
timeline.
That's the. Yeah,
Oh,
so she was in
so
the
like
18th century.
So who taught her how to read? Because back then,
I just told you.
it was
I just told you the people that took her in. So like John Wheatley and his wife.
she was like a child. Got
Correct.
you.
Correct.
Okay, got you. Okay, so I understand. All right. So
Yeah.
because I
And
know
that wasn't common.
it was yeah,
No,
I
I'm saying
know
that
it was
wasn't
like
common. Yeah.
it was looked down upon for Black people to learn how to read because they didn't want us to they like I said, they wanted us in complete despair. So
Yeah.
if you don't know how to read, you can't educate yourself, right?
Yeah, and it's wild too. I don't know what movie it was, but I remember a movie where like a dude wanted to portray like he knew how to read. So like he had the newspaper and he was trying to like impress like the whites or whoever was around, like, yo, I can read, but then he had the newspaper upside down and shit. And somebody had to tell him, like, hey, if you're gonna look like you know how to read, you at least gotta like, turn the joint right side up or whatnot. And I'm sitting here like that's kind of how marginalized we were with getting the type of education needed to help with stuff like that. So
that's a fact.
Wow. But yeah, I'm complete though.
Okay, I like that. Are we gonna finish this? Well, the person I picked, let's go through my person real quick. Okay, his name is Lewis Latimer, and the reason why I chose him is because I wanted to. He's a Black inventor. He's the person that invented. Wait, let me make sure I got the right name of it. The carbon light bulb filament. It's the thing inside the bulb that allows the bulb to stay lit for as long as it stays lit. The reason why I chose him is because there's so many overlooked Black people in society that like the responsible for
and our inventions. Yeah, facts.
Yeah, you got your Harriet Tubmans, you got your Martin Luther Kings, you even got your George Washington Carvers. Like that's one of the Black inventors that most of us know because
facts, because that's what they taught us.
Yeah, it's what they taught us. Okay, and he was amazing, but there's so many more people who that we could look at. But so Lewis Latimer, like I said, he created the filament in the bulb because and he actually kind of competed with Thomas Edison to come up with the light first. You know what I mean? And he ended up in the end working with Thomas Edison. That filament that he put in there, the filament that they used to use only used to last a few days. And so the light bulbs weren't practical. So he actually created the filament where it would last for like days, like months, even. You know what I'm saying? So even today's bulbs are based off of his designs. And we think about Alexander Graham, in the light bulb, but he played Mr. Lewis Latimer. He played a big part in it, and I just wanted to give him his flowers. And I feel like all month we should just be giving our Black people flowers, especially the people who don't get it that often.
100%. And I was also thinking when you said that, when you shared that, Shake, is that we invented a whole bunch of shit, but I don't think we got the recognition for it. You know what I mean? Like, because we were Black.
Sure ain't get the money for it.
Yeah, so that's why we know of Thomas Edison and shit like that, because they weren't giving our people's credit. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I definitely think it's easy
I said Alexander Graham. I meant Thomas Edison. You're right.
Thomas Edison.
I feel like it's definitely easy to water down the accomplishments of Black people when you control like the narrative of the history to a certain degree. So yeah, I can understand like why it's important to tell these stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who got
Mash?
Mash is
So,
next.
Come on, guys, drip your drip.
I
mean, it's gonna be a brief drip because all his achievements speak for themselves. So I brought up my icon to showcase is Frederick Douglass. I feel that Frederick Douglass is he should be on Mount Rushmore in terms of impact for us as like history in America. Frederick Douglass is special to me because he was born a slave, and at the age of 7, well, when he was born, he was separated from his moms, but he was taught to read by his enslaved, the people who owned him, right? So it was a woman by the name of Sophia Aldi. She was the wife of the slave master there, and she taught him how to read and she taught him the alphabet and how to read a couple of words. And her husband stopped her, and let her know you can't teach him how to read, because if you teach him how to read, it won't help him as a slave. That information that he learned, he took that information and taught other slaves how to read in secret. And, the thing that's most significant for me about Frederick Douglass is because he spoke from the perspective of someone who was born into slavery, was able to articulate that experience and capture it in an autobiography. And that autobiography is this book. It's called The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave. Now, he did a really amazing job of articulating the experience of African Americans during slavery. And this is a really, really great account of that. So I recommend everyone read this book if you're looking for a clear understanding of what the experience was like for slaves during that time in the 1800s.
Drop it in the show notes too. You got the books, King. Okay, you got the library.
I think that's really, really important. And I wanted to make sure that he get highlighted and take it upon yourself to look at him further. But the impact of Frederick Douglass is really, really, really significant. That's my
he wrote that book?
Yeah, he wrote 3 autobiographies. This is his first one.
Wow.
Nice. Yo, and what's crazy though? It was such a dangerous thing to be running around and teaching other slaves how to read. Like, not only did he learn how to read, but to go around and teach other people how to read, that put him in danger. Like,
and I just want to say, when you think about something simple as reading and writing, to that we couldn't even learn that something which is everyday use, or be killed over knowing how to read or write. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Just to circle back what we talked about initially is like, there's thirst for knowledge. Knowledge is power, right? And you have to seek it. It's just not going to be given to you. If it was given to you, it wouldn't be as appreciated, but that thirst for knowledge changed the world, in a lot of different ways. And we have to take it upon ourselves to seek that knowledge. So
but you know what's I just think the sucky part about like our history is the fact that people are just denied that knowledge or denied access to that knowledge. So as inquisitive as you might have wanted to be, like when you don't have the tools or the access to expand on that knowledge, bro, that's a scary feeling, bro.
Yeah,
all the more reason why now is even more powerful for us, because we have access to that information.
Correct.
That shit is at our fingertips every day. So that shit is crazy.
Like I keep saying, some of the knowledge is lost forever, but the knowledge that we do have, we definitely should take advantage of, and I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. And so, shout out to the African American Museum.
Yes.
I went there with my bestie.
Yes, we
did.
Bestie.
That was like
a dope experience.
It was a very dope experience, and they talked about how we were kings and queens, and all the stuff that we did. It very brief. And it kind of progressed, through slavery, and then our achievements and accomplishments, and how we were, let free and all that stuff. But
we weren't let free.
Not let free. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead. Tell me what you feel, Mash. What would you say?
We fought for our freedom. My niggas, none of my niggas was allowed anything. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Correct. We fought for everything we wanted or what we have.
Mm-hmm.
We're still fighting.
And not that the African American History Museum is everything, but I do feel like it's something that we should all do as a people, whether you're black, white, any cultural background, you should definitely check it out. What bothered me about that real quick, I need to just share what I feel about it. I remember going to DC and they put up a Holocaust museum. And I'm like, these motherfuckers, no shade, these motherfuckers wasn't even in the US. So we put up a museum for no shade against the Jews, but like for them, before we even put in the African American Museum. So that like triggered me a little bit. I just need to share that.
I mean, you got to take into consideration who's the people who decide to make those decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but the Jews, they would make those decisions themselves.
I remember what happened in the cannon. Y'all better take it easy. Talk about these Jews. Throwing it out there. Take it easy.
I would say Jewish people. I would say I'm not saying I don't have anything bad to say about Jewish people. I'm just
it don't matter.
What I'm saying is
generations long.
I'm just saying that they had the gumption to go out and do they make their own museums. You understand what I'm saying? They go out and they create these museums themselves. They put it in their communities and they create these museums because they have the resources available to them.
I feel like this is a much more nuanced conversation. Not to cut you off, Sheikh. Like Jews are much different than blacks in the fact that the Holocaust, they actually got recognized for that. They actually got reparations and all that. Legitimately.
Yeah, that's true.
That black people have it. So I feel like that right there creates a kind of
boogie.
Divide, a disconnect there.
That's
like
over.
There's a reason
it's hard to fix
recognition is what makes it so important. The recognition that we all accept this as a truth. You know what I mean? That is so fucking big of a deal. That we all
Jewish
have
holidays are just accepted. It doesn't matter whether it's
the wrongs need to be right
recognized holiday or not. Like a Jewish person has a Jewish holiday, they're off. No one asked them any questions. It's like they have that kind of respect and inclusion where black people would never have that kind of recognition.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Having a Black History Month, I feel like waters down the Black experience because I ain't gonna say it waters it down. I'm saying like it feels
it does water it down. Like when you define it to a month, it's bullshit. Black History is every day, every year.
Absolutely, it is. It definitely does, and also like I feel like I'm really happy with the fact that they have Juneteenth in place. Because it gives us a day to celebrate now. Like Black History isn't a time to celebrate. It's like we're supposed to reflect on it, but they don't really put a lot of emphasis on it. And I feel like at least on like Juneteenth, they're putting emphasis on this day now. You know what I mean?
That's a nice way to kind of look at it, Sheikh. You spoke on Juneteenth. Juneteenth is the day where it was pretty much known to all the slaves officially that we're all free. To me, I'll make sure I say this respectfully, but it's like it took years after slavery has already been abolished for slavery to officially be abolished. So I don't think it's like worth celebrating to actually have that day off. Remember, I feel like there's such a long way to go in terms of respect.
I feel like it's a promotion.
I feel like time after slavery was officially over, civil war was already finished. That was the day when people actually realized, we're actually free. I feel
gentlemen. Now this is a interesting conversation, but we have reached we have reached a tempestuous part of the episode. Fuck you, man. I was about to go.
There's a cool down. I got that one first. I give a fuck what you say. Discord stream, y'all got a lag, my nigga. I said that shit first. I know the score. You got 2 now. I got 2. You're not gonna get 3, nigga.
I'm gonna edit this bitch. Watch.
You piece of crap.
Yo, but
very
definitely
tempestuous situation here.
We've reached a point of the episode though, where we are actually going to have to possibly continue this conversation for a next episode. We definitely have some more things we actually wanted to touch on as far as the Blackity
Can we
Black
have a Blackity
episode.
Black month?
Blackity Black. Let's go.
We probably could.
Blackity Black month.
We can, definitely.
Yo,
We doing 5 new people for next week. What's up?
Word,
Don't be a big
word. I
go
think
black
it's
like that.
possible.
Go.
I think I can think of another person. I might be.
Yeah, me too.
I definitely
Sarcasm.
can.
I can too.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
All right, so TJ, you want to take us out real quick?
Thanks, guys. If you don't know if you're sophisticatedly ratchet, ask yourself, do you code switch? Are you the same person that you are at work that you are with your peoples?
No.
If you turn up when you turn up with your peoples and you're able to do what you got to do professionally, you are sophisticatedly ratchet. It is a good thing, and you get to define what that means to you. Shout out to you for being a part of the tribe. We are on everywhere that you can hear a podcast: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Check us out. You can also keep in contact with us through social media. We're on IG at So Ratchet Podcast. We're also on YouTube, where you can see us live on So Ratchet Podcast on YouTube. We're also on Twitter at So Ratchet Pod. And we're on TikTok, So Ratchet Podcast. We're going to start putting out some more content for you guys. Share us with a friend, like us, comment, subscribe, and we look forward to being a part of Black history, right?
Absolutely. Yes,
and this is our second Black History Month episode.
We've been doing Black History since our first episode. I don't know what y'all talking about, but anyway.
Yeah, and non-tribe members, if you're feeling tempestuous about following us, please don't. Like we're really good. Can we get a score? Please? Can we get a score?
Okay, so yes, we can post the score.
That's crazy.
You guys can post the score. Boogie or
this nigga put a last-minute buzzer beater at the shot.
At the shot clock.
Yo, TJ already fucking did the outro. Then this nigga
can I get a score?
It's okay.
Can I get a score?
That's mad tempestuous, bro. That's mad tempestuous.
Oh, you trying, man.
Cool down.
That's trying.
That's cool. That was after
But
the
Flash
cool down.
one, and you guys can go ahead and post that. You reaching. It's okay.
Anyway, thank you for listening, tribe.
Tempestuous ass podcast.
Flash 1 and 4. You guys can go ahead and post that.
I hate this nigga.
All right, y'all, tribe. Peace.
Peace.
Wait, hold on. Let me put that in for y'all.
Oh, go ahead.
Hold on. Oh, I fucked it up. We out.
All
All
right.
right, tribe. Yo, later.
Bye, guys.